Yo, what is going on, guys? Average Player here with a deck profile. I've recorded this. I can tell you how many times. First, Premiere Pro wanted to be a pain in the dick and not want to render audio, so that's how that went for a while. And now I have to record this through the mic on my phone. My Rode NT actually plugs in and it works. My Note 20 actually registers it, which is awesome. Because if I use my regular phone camera, it'd pick up everything, including my AC and a lot of background noise, and we don't like that. So, Phantom Knights, I lied last time I said I wasn't making another Phantom Knights deck profile, but here I am. Since Vertana kinda got banned, and all that, the deck actually took a little bit of a hit because of it. So we're going to try to go in and fix it, and I actually made another deck profile before this. It's Predaplant Phantom Knights, more Phantom Knight than Predaplant, which is, you know, how you want things to be in this deck. Because the Predaplant engine, you want to see it and use it as your normal engine, and use your use your Phantom Knight engine more as a like a discard engine. Use it as a second hand in your graveyard. So there's obviously a lot of flaws to that, because cards like Abyss Dweller and stuff like that absolutely destroy you, and Artifact Lancia. That's why we have a side deck here, so we can go in and do that too. If you see me put my hand in front of it, I'm just making sure my autofocus is off. And so obviously, like normal, we start off with the main deck, and also because Premiere Pro is acting up, so this is going to be unedited, raw video. Also, if you guys can't tell, I am using a different camera angle. It's a little up. It used to be about like here, and now it's a little bit higher up, so I can try to fit more cards on the screen. Try it a little bit differently. So first, we're going to play 3 copies of Torn Skills, it's your main starter. Everybody know, if you play Phantom Knights or have any idea of what the deck does, and you know what that does, discard a card, send a Phantom Knight card from your deck to graveyard. If it's in the graveyard, Phantom Knight card is banished, special summon it. So that happens on a new chain. 1 copy of Cloak, 2 copies of Silent Boots, 1 copy of Greaves, and 1 copy of Gloves. And I've said this before, I play 1 copy of Cloak because I feel like that is better. That is not as good as playing 2 copies of Boots, because Cloak, if you draw 2 of it, it's dead in your hand. If you draw 2 copies of the Boots, though, you can still normal summon 1 and special summon the other. So you at least got a play you can do, which is really good. And then Cherubini can do that, and you can start doing your stuff. So yeah, and then Staying Greaves is a free special summon from your hand. If you special summon 1, it also can special summon like say your Gloves, which is a really big clog in your hand. If it's in the graveyard by banishing it, Gloves, you can banish it, send a Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard, which in itself is really, really, really good. And next on to the Plant slash Predaplant engine. Play triple copies of Lone Fire Blossom, and then you play the triple copies of the Orphis Scorpio and 1 copy of Darlington Cobra. And we do this because what you actually want to see more of or open is the Lone Fire Blossom, because you Lone Fire for Lone Fire for Lone Fire into Orphis Scorpio. Helps you deck thin, especially with the deck being more towards 50 cards. And then your Darlington Cobra comes last, and that's about it. But if you see Lone Fire and a Phantom Knight card, or Orphis Scorpio and a Phantom Knight card, you're golden, honestly, because Lone Fire can get Orphis Scorpio, and you got to discard to activate Orphis Scorpio's effect. And the whole point of this deck, in my opinion, is to get your Phantom Knight cards in the graveyard and kind of use it as your second hand. So if you got a Phantom Knight card and Darlington Cobra, they're both dark level 3s, so you can make Cherubini off of them, and then use Cherubini to send for cost. So you're sitting all pretty on that, and can go off of that and use your Phantom Knight cards to make combo for you. Next is cards that are good to see, but you are fine if you don't see them. You can even cut them if you want. It's just, in my opinion, I think it's pretty good. You play 2 copies of Kagemuchi Knight and 1 copy of Junk Forward. I noticed my camera's a little crooked. There we go. So Kagemuchi Knight, you actually want to see more than Junk Forward, because, you know, if anything, Kagemuchi Knight in the same boat as Boots. If you draw both of them, you can normal summon 1, special summon the other. It's also good, so you got the Orphis Scorpio, and you want to get that special summon off. You can chain Kagemuchi Knight to its normal summon, and its effect happens on normal summon, then he special summons himself. So it'd be chain 2 Kage, no, chain 1 Orphis Scorpio, so Kage special summons Orphis Scorpio, then summon your Darlington Cobra, yada yada yada. So that's just in case your opponent responds to that, even though they can react to the Darlington Cobra, which is even worse, but it's whatever. The Junk Forward, just a free special summon on board. helps you get stuff going, and this can also help you, say you get nibbed, to enable you not having normal summon. So if you draw Junk Forward and you draw, and you're one of your E-Tele targets, it's not Ghost Ogre, you, like Psychic Wielder, Psychic Tracker, you can special summon that, and you don't have your normal summon, so if you really need to, and, like, the nib hits, you can normal summon and continue your plays. It's just not going to have you end on as what you want to end on. And as I talked about the E-Tele cards, so as I'm talking about the E-Tele cards, triple copies of Emergency Teleport, Psychic Tracker, Psychic Wielder, and then the Ghost Ogre. And you play the Ghost Ogre here because, sorry about that pause, guys. I was trying to get somebody out of my party. But you E-Tele out your Ghost Ogre, which is actually one of your main plays. So your opponent can't summon the nib if it gets blown up, but it has to be a monster on the field. So nib, I'll just give an example. That nib actually, it won't happen on nib. So say Wandering Griffin Rider, or Wandering Griffin Rider, because it has to go to the deck to negate. You can pop a Wandering Griffin Rider, Regulus, whatever. Ghost Ogre gets rid of it, and that's pretty good actually. So if you want to have like an extra form of interruption and protection, Ghost Ogre is really good. The Tracker and Wielder also good. If you draw more than one E-Tele, you're basically set anyway. No normal summon and a free interruption. Like, that's pretty solid in my opinion. But yeah, Ghost Ogre contributes itself from the field, which most people do not know about, but it's whatever. Next, for the hand traps, you play triple copies of Ash, triple copies of Bell, 2 Nib, 2 Imperm. My opinion, that's the best way to have it. Ash is really good. It's probably the best hand trap in the game right now. Bell is really good because it stops like Called by the Grave, it stops DD Crow. Anything that stops you from being able to do what you want to do in your graveyard, it stops. Other than like Abyss Dweller. But I think Bell is really good. Especially if you're playing like Mirror Match against Phantom Knights, Bell is amazing. Even though most of the Phantom Knights cards banish for cost. Like if you're stopping their Fog Blade or whatever, it's really, really, really good. Nib is good, especially if you have an Imperm in your hand. That way you can activate a Nib and chain an Imperm or whatever and get, you know, your Nib off, because if your opponent tries to negate it, you got an Imperm or whatever. But most people know what these do. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the hand traps. And I mentioned a Scythe Lock earlier, so you play 1 copy of Scythe in the main deck. And I mentioned this earlier too. 1 copy of Fusion Destiny, you would play this at 2 if you have 2. And then Mally and Celestial, and I'm going to explain myself on the Mallies. So I feel like Mally is better than Dasher. Even though Dasher, if you draw a monster, you can special summon it for free. I feel like that's actually not the best. Because, like, what if you draw, like, Artifact Scythe and you didn't get your Scythe Lock off? Or what if you draw, like, Ghost Ogre or an Ash Blossom? You don't want to really special summon those. You want to keep those cards in your hand. Scythe, you don't even want to see at all. You want to get it from your deck using Dagda. I feel like Mally is better, because if you send Mally to the graveyard off of Fusion Destiny, and most of the times when you go into your Scythe Lock, you won't even have to use your Rusty Bardiche. The only time you'd actually use your Rusty Bardiche going into Scythe Lock is if you can Bardiche with a Scythe DPE and then get a Dark Rebellion on the field off of your Break Sword getting blown up and stuff like that. So you can use the Rank Up Magic card to go into Dark Requiem to get a pop and 3 negates on your opponent's turn, which is good. But that Rank Up Magic card is the only one missing. Actually comes in on Tuesday. So Phantom Knight Rank Up Magic launch, it's the card that you play. But 1 copy Called by the Grave and 1 copy Reinforcement of the Army. And for the traps, 3 Fogblade, 1 Wing, 1 Brigadine. Brigadine's good, Wing's good, and Fogblade's good. Fogblade's your main card. You actually want to see that. That's why it's at 3. Even though you never really open it. If you open it, it doesn't really hurt because it's a free negate, and cards can't attack when it's equipped with it, or cards cannot target it for an attack or be attacked while it's equipped with it. Next, we're going on to the extra deck. So we play quite a few Link monsters, but it's okay, I guess. 1 copy of Link Spider, just in case you get nibbed. 1 copy of Cherubini. 1 copy Dagda. 1 copy Rusty Bardiche. 1 copy Appaloosa. So this is just in case you get nibbed. You can honestly get rid of it if you want to, because it doesn't really do much because Verte's gone. Cherubini, everybody knows that does sense for cost attack game, but you're not really using it for the attack game. You're using it to send for the cost. Dagda is the basically get your scythe. Rusty's really good because that's your main enabler in the deck, or from your extra deck, it's your main enabler. And Appaloosa, everybody knows what Appaloosa does. It's not a once per turn monster negate. And then I mentioned it earlier, because of the Fusion Destiny, 1 copy DPE in the Scythe lock, so just DPE. DPE's DPE, everybody knows it does. Next, we play quite a few XC monsters. It's mostly what the deck does. D-Barrier really does suck, but it's whatever. You play 2 copies of Breaksword, 1 copy of Fortune Tune, which you can play the Fortune Tune, but right now it's a replacement for a 2nd copy of Leviair, which I am working on getting. Fortune Tune's good, Leviair's good. Fortune Tune, if it's really necessary, you can make a Fortune Tune to go into Zeus, and Zeus is coming up later. As I mentioned, the Dark Rebellion to rank up into Dark Requiem earlier, because that if you have Dark Rebellion on Dark Requiem, you get up to 3 negates, and say you can even get 4 if you're playing Raiders Knight. Not Raiders Knight. There's another Raiders card that you can play, and it equips itself, or not equips itself, it attaches itself, which is good. And 1 copy Future, 1 copy Draco Future, and 1 copy Zeus. So most likely, if you can get Dark Rebellion out, you can sometimes even get Draco Future out. Or not Dark Rebellion, Dark Requiem. Draco Future is better than Dark Requiem. Only for the fact that it can't be destroyed by battle. Or it can't be destroyed by card effects, it can be destroyed by battle. So, and it negates and steals, this negates and destroys, so it's whatever. Zeus is a card that you really are playing in your extra deck. It's like a more of a just in case you need to go into Zeus, more than I need to go into Zeus, because the combo facilitates Zeus. And then next we're going to go on to the side deck. The side deck is still a work in progress because I don't have some of the cards for it, but I will obviously tell you what cards I just need more of, and that's basically it. It's just cards I need more of. So, and yeah, it's actually big enough for me to only need the 2 extra cards that I need. Maybe 3 if we got rid of the Kaiju, but... So we actually play a few trap cards for this side deck. Red Reboot is one of them. Triple Solemn Judgment. And 2 D-Barrier. And the D-Barrier can go along with the card that's coming up. I said I play Cross out in the side deck. It's okay. If it's game 3 and your opponent beats you when they're going first on game 2, or they end up taking a game from you at some point, and you're going first, say this is game 2 and you're going first, you lost game 1, you can put in the Judgments, and probably Red Reboot or the D-Barriers, or whatever else you want to put in, but Judgments are actually probably going to go into your deck when you're going first, because this is like the best card, one of the best cards in the game. Judgment stops spells, traps, and summons. Any summon, doesn't have to be an inherent summon like Solemn Strike. And D-Barrier is really good against Thespia and also good against the Mirror Match. And as I said, we play Crossout Designator, but that comes up a little later on the side deck. But you can also play, depending on your matchup, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone. I do see 2 stall decks at my local, so Cosmic Cyclone actually plays out pretty good. I do have Night Beam. I have tried it out, but I don't think it's really that good. Or I think it's good, I just haven't tried it out yet. I need a 3rd copy of it. And then next is the 2 Crossout Designator, and I put it with the Lancia. I would like to see 2 more of these, because I actually would main deck the Lancia, because it's not just the... It's not... Another deck that has high representation at my locals is Dinos, and Lancia shuts them off, which is really good. I would main deck it and I would just keep it at 3 so I could play it and then have 3 crossout designator if need be, so I can't get hit by it. But obviously crossout works the same as like everything other card in your deck. If you see it, it's great. If not, then it kind of sucks. And then the last card, as I said, it's a Kaiju. It's the worst Kaiju in the game, and that's why you play it. It's Scam Shield, because you don't want to give your opponent a good Kaiju, because they'll just use it to beat over your monsters. In this, in Phantom Knights, most of your cards are sitting around 2100. If you look at your boss monsters, you know, your Dagda sits at 15, Cherubini sits at 5, Bardiche 21, Appaloosa is whatever, DPE's at 25, 2K, 400, 18, 25. So it's easy to beat over whatever. So you want to give them the weakest one you can give them. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Please drop a like on the video. It would be very much appreciated to help get the video out there. To also help it get it out there, please share it with your friends. That'd also be very, very, very appreciated. And on top of that, subscribe, because the more people that subscribe, the more the channel will grow and the more channel gets out there. And all this goes down to the comment as well, because if you comment on the video about, I always say, comment on the video about what you think I could change in this deck, or what you would also put in the deck, or things that you would put in the deck that I also might not necessarily play or use, or might not even have, to make the deck a little bit better. And this way the community gets involved and everybody can talk about it, and that's the way I want things to be. More people get involved, people talk about it, you know, because I'll end up trying your guys' ideas. And one guy actually suggested a while ago, and on my Soundman Greats, and I ended up loving what he put on the table. So yeah, that's why we comment and talk about the deck profile. So again, comment what you think I should change, or what you would put in place of some cards, and then subscribe, because subscribing is really, really helpful, and so is liking the video. I don't know why I go on all these spiels at the end of my videos about liking, commenting, and subscribing, because, you know, I don't know, it's just a rant, I guess. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.